Hello, everyone. Welcome to an episode of the Mic'd Up Savages. We are here today discussing the state of the New York Yankees. This is our State of the New York Yankees address, like they have in politics, but we're going to be doing one for baseball. Murph, the Yankees have not been looking too good as of late, my man. Not too good at all.
No, they've been looking awful, dude. They've been looking like they're back in April. The season just started, and these guys just can't find a groove anymore. I don't know what happened. Ever since Detroit, this team's virtually just fallen off a cliff. I mean, they literally just have lost every and all ability to get runners in. It's ridiculous. They are the fifth worst team offensively in terms of just average. Um, and that's included. By the way, we're getting beat by the Pirates, the Rays, who are leading the league in strikeouts. They are quite literally one of the worst offensive teams, and they're still beating us in average. And they're one of the hottest teams in baseball right now, mind you, because we just can't seem to beat them.
We literally cannot do anything against them. We've got Judge out there playing center field, now at this rate.
Yeah. Just shows you how little depth we have in the center field position at this point. We're literally just grasping at straws here, trying to figure out how to piece together a lineup that's capable of putting runs together,
winning games. Anything.
Yeah.
You got guys at least now we're starting to see Gleyber Torres, find his hit the hot bat. He's been responsible, him and Judge, for most of the runs scored. I mean, DJ LeMahieu is kind of losing his fire.
He's lost it big time. I'm hoping he can get it back. I have to assume he's going to get it back at some point. I refuse to believe he's going to be a 250 hitter the rest of the year and the rest of the way. I think ultimately, not to be that guy to make excuses for the team, but I think the dead ball is really killing this team. Because I think a lot of this team's swagger and confidence comes from hitting that deep ball. And when you got a bunch of guys who, let's be honest here, had kind of exaggerated stats that 2019 season with the juice ball, your confidence kind of gets shot when you go back to not only a normal ball, but a deadened ball at that. And so you're not getting the same power you used to getting. And, it shows, you got Gleyber, who for the longest time was swinging for the fences. And I think he's had to surrender, kind of give up on the long ball, which, depending on who you ask, is either a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing at this point.
He needs to, and he's not swinging for the fences. He's not popping the ball up. He's hitting ground. I'd rather you be hitting the ball on the ground than flying out to shallow right, trying to jack one,
Yeah, at this point, I mean, we need to generate some sort of offense, and it's going to come from those guys. I mean, we're being honest here, the Yankees have no help coming through the door, right? They might make a trade, and I don't know if or when that would be. If they need a center fielder and they need a lefty bat at that, they need a lefty center fielder if at all possible, and that's just such a tough ask at this market and with the cap space we have. You can't just find any left fielder, right? Yeah. Or lefty bat. You have to find one who's actually a good defensive outfielder who is also a good hitter at that, because we could go out there and find some lefty outfielder who's going to do something.
Get David Peralta, but he's a home run hitter, strikeout king, strikeout god.
That's just not going to do it. That's not going to cut it, big man.
And the D-backs know we want lefty bats, so they're going to ask for more, especially if we go after their Ketel Marte.
Who we should get. Before I was thinking that's not an option, but we need it. I mean, that's plain and simple. We need him. We need a guy who's not going to prioritize the home run ball. He's just going to hit for contact, He's going to do a job. And right now, we just don't have a lot of that throughout the lineup. DJ was that guy for us, but he's struggling. Gio was kind of that guy for us, but he hasn't had that same type of success. Gleyber hasn't been doing it. And then you look at the bottom of the lineup, it's just a vacuum, a black hole of just nothing, right? If the top of the order doesn't put up 4 runs a game, then there's no shot we're winning a ball game. Look, we had the worst offensive first base. If you look at everyone who's played first base, we're last in that category in terms of OPS and slugging and average. We're the worst team in terms of first base. Mm-hmm. And now that's resorted in us. Granted, Voit was out, but when he was here, he still wasn't doing anything. Ford's been awful. Bruce, when he was here, was awful.
And now we have Chris Gittens.
Who's identical to everyone else we have on the team. He's a big hitter, power hitter to power bat, and the worst part is he's a righty.
Yeah.
So it's like I hope I wish him the best. You know, I hope he does something. I hope he can kind of spark up the lineup a little bit, but. Yeah, it's brutal when you look at the construction of this team and it's just righty, 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 and it's like, and it's not even like righty who's like, oh, this guy hits for contact, he's fast. This guy hits for power. This guy, it's like they're all like home run or bust, home run or bust, home run or bust, home run or bust.
And when you're not getting the home run and you're all just bust, it doesn't look good. It really sucks.
Bad. Like
really,
this team
really
slugging wise is horrible. Home runs awful. RBI is awful. Like literally, the bane of this team is the thing that was supposed to be their biggest strength, right? We go into the season, everyone's like, all right, how are they gonna do it kind of the pitching side of the ball, right? The pitching's been bang on, dude. It's the third best in baseball in terms of ERA. I think second best in strikeouts.
We're throwing that last Cole Star out the window, that 5 earned, but the umpires did not help his cause. They did not.
No.
Versus the Rays.
No, and what didn't help is now the spin rate dropped, and now everyone's and their mothers coming out of the woodworks to accuse Cole of substance abuse. You know, the grips, whatever. That's another discussion for another time. If you're asking me, I think he probably has used it, but I don't think that's the drop off in the spin rate. I just think those are just 2 bad starts he's had, and that's pretty much it. You know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Getting in his own head, you're trying to get your ace out there. You're trying to go out there, get your team a dub, and you have so much damn pressure on you. I bet something's gonna happen, you know.
Yeah, and with no run support whatsoever. Like, I think Jameson, you covered this in your little shorts series. Jameson came out and he was like, dude, I want to pitch from a lead. Like that would help. That would be awesome if I could pitch from a lead. Like he literally hasn't had that opportunity to pitch from ahead of the game.
Ooh.
Like coming from him, it kind of hurts me because it's like he's been our weakest pitcher, but even he has to come out and be like, "Yo, help!" like I'm going out there. Like granted, you know, I'm not giving the best performances I can right now, but still, like I need help.
He did go out. He did after that comment. He did say, "This guy, I know I haven't been doing my job lately, but it would still be nice across the board to put up runs."
I got no problem with what he's saying. Like I enjoyed it. I think that's got to come from a Cole as well. Like if Cole and him said it, United, like all the pitchers came out and said it, then it's like, bro, like
that may light a fire, but you got to go out and say it. You can't just substitute it in conferences.
Yeah,
like,
don't. You know, I'm sure there's been multiple discussions, but like, yeah, this team just. I don't know if you've heard what Michael Kay has said about the team, but he's bang on with everything he said about this team so far, and basically, you know, you got to blame Cashman ultimately at the end of the day for this team, right? Because I think us as Yankee fans, we knew the flaws of this team, but we kind of like to bury them and say they're not as big a deal as there is because it's like this is the Yankees. You know, they broke a home run record. They almost did it twice. They got monsters talent-wise who could go out there and mash with the best of them. You know, offensive juggernaut. But when you look at this team at its core, it's flawed from top to bottom in terms of offense.
Very, very.
Right? We're righty stacked. Especially, and it's criminal because you look at right field at Yankee Stadium with that short porch. It's like, how are we not utilizing that, right?
It's like we're
not stacking the lineup of left
field, and we're just not even gonna think about it.
Like we're gonna make righties hit to that way when we can have lefties hit to that way and crush it, right? Like
and righties hit to everywhere, you know.
Yeah, like it's like, and then so we have a lineup full of righties. We have a lineup full of righties who all hit the same way, who are all pretty much home run or bust. We have a team that's literally like the joke was like if this team doesn't hit home runs, right, this team's not winning a game. And you know, we as Yankee fans are like, what's the problem with hitting home runs? Since when does that become a flaw, a weakness in a team? This is when it becomes a weakness and a flaw in a team. Is when you're looking at this team and it goes, we need a home run or we're losing, and it's just been like home run drought and it's been losing.
But like, dude, like you're taking a power, like it's called the power alley, right center. You're taking it away. You're just like when Judge gets a hold of one to right field, it's going.
Yeah,
it's most likely going. But still, you're not like you. If they get Ketel Marte, I'm telling you, he's dropping 25 homers this year for the Yankees. At the point of the trade deadline, he's hitting 24 homers because he slaps the ball to right field. But he's a switch hitter, so when he's righty lefty, he will slap the ball to that side, and he's good.
Yeah, when you look at this team, this team has defied everything that Yankees teams of past have prided themselves on. Is that's balance. That's being able to do everything, right? Defensively, not necessarily be like the tippity top, but they're elite defensively. They're elite pitching wise. They're elite offensively. And by offensively, I mean they can hit for contact. They can hit for power. They're fast, right? This team is none of those things. This team is very shaky defensively. Like almost like middle pack is being generous at times, right? With the amount of shaky defenders we have.
We're out of the top 10 power rankings now, which really sucks to see. This is the first time in a very long time that we haven't been in the top 10.
Yeah, but it shows. We don't deserve to be a top 10 team the way this team has been playing.
Hit that here right then. You saw it here first. We're not.
We're not. You know, it's like this team is not. This team's shaky defensively, right? Defense is not our bread and butter by any means. We're not fast. This is a very slow team, probably one of the slowest in baseball. And we don't play small ball, right? Like it's like this team refuses to play small ball to an extent almost. Like most teams you see, they'll put pressure on you even if they're making an out. It's a productive out, right? It's like runner on first, guy up to the plate. He's doing a job. He's trying his hardest to hit it to right field to move that runner over, right?
Every team batters do it besides the Yankees. The Yankees put a ball in the gap.
Yeah, it's got to be a home run. It's got to be some big extra base hit that hits the fence or the wall, whatever. And it's got to be this grand spectacle. But it's like teams are literally just hitting the ball and putting it in play, and it's creating this pressure because it's like moving runners over. Like now you got a guy on, like guy was on second. He hits to the right field. He does his job. Guy in second now goes to third. You got one out. Easy sac fly, scores that run. Bam. That's simple baseball.
Yeah.
And for us, it feels like rocket science. It feels like that's just not there. Like it doesn't compute. Like hit what? Hit. What? Not home run. Not swing for fence at 3 pitches. Like, and it's not like strikeouts not even the problem on this team. That's the worst part. Like it's just not. It's not like they're just not striking out. They're just literally terrible on the base paths. They're the worst team on the base paths. Like 28 outs on the bases, worse in baseball. Mm-hmm. They are, and they're just not hitting the ball with runners in scoring position. They're the worst at RBIs, scoring runs. Like the thing, the bread and butter, the thing they were the best at. They're just bad.
They're the kings of the double play. But the thing is, like, you look at the team the first 15 games, they were 5-10. Then they went on like a 30 and something, no, like 20 something and 5 or 6 run of like just dominating. And then they just, back to that 5-10, but we're like worse now. We've got the series, we got swept by the Tigers, got swept by the Sox, right?
Yeah.
And it looks really, really bad. We're 2 games above 500, dude.
Yeah. We're grasping at thin air right now. We're looking for something. And I don't know what that is. Like, again, like the thing that we thought was going to be our hardest thing was going to be our pitching, right? How are we going to be able to get through the season with the roster we have or the pitching staff we have? We thought the bullpen was going to be good. I didn't think it was going to be this good, especially since we're missing Zach Britton and now O'Day and Wilson.
O'Day is coming back too.
Yeah. So we're going to have 2 big weapons back in the pen, and I think we kind of need it at this point. I think the guys are starting to get used up. And, it's huge. We're going to have these huge weapons back, and you look at this pen and you kind of like think, our saving grace, but for how long? The starting rotation's been okay.
Can only milk the pen so much.
Yeah. We kind of like, we're definitely not having that stretch we did the previous weeks where we're breaking Yankees history with like 7 innings, no runs given up. But, they're keeping us in the fight for the most part. Couple hiccups here and there. The Cole start was brutal, but again, that's going to happen. It's baseball, whatever. But it's like, we got to find a way to win those games, though. And we can't win those games. We just don't have the offensive might right now. It's just like, again, it feels like if the top of the order is not putting up like 6+ runs by themselves, there's just no shot. The way Clint's been hitting, the way Sanchez, the catching position as a whole been hitting, the first base position as a whole been hitting.
Yeah. I really do. This was bound to happen, though. I really do believe since the 35 innings scoreless, the pitchers were bound to go through a stretch where they weren't going to do good at all. I didn't think this bad, but, and the offense, too. They didn't do anything and even during that 35 innings scoreless, it was like sometimes the games were like 1-0, 2-0. Your team's going out there and shoving. They can only shove so hard, that They gotta score some runs. They gotta score some runs.
They gotta find a way to do a job. I just don't know how they're gonna do it. It's gotta come up within. You need guys to step up. You need Clint to step up. You need You need guys like Torres to step up. You need DJ to step up. You need those guys to step up in a big way. Even if like Andujar can like keep doing what he's doing, kind of stringing together a couple of hits in there.
Slapping the ball around, man.
He's slapping around, dude. He's trying his hardest. I mean, Judge's been phenomenal. Like if it wasn't for Otani and I think Guerrero, Vlad, he'd probably be in the MVP discussions because he's just been a monster. He's been like phenomenal. He's everything the Yankees could have asked for, and there's idiots out there who are saying like we should trade him for all the value he's got. Like, shut up.
No.
Like I don't care how bad the Yankees are doing this year. You're not trading Aaron Judge. Like I just don't care. I think this team does need a change though.
We need a big trade. We need like a not a blockbuster, but for a star, you got to go get somewhat of a low caliber star, maybe a mid-level star, which is Cattell. I don't know if you want to put him up there as a high-level star. You know, he is very good, but
he's very good. He's very good, but I don't know if he's like consistent all-star good. You know,
like because we have all these damn prospects, you know, and they're young and they have value, and you don't know how they're gonna pan out. So let's trade them when they're there, when they have the value. You know, like trade a few of them. You know, bank on it, and you can even throw Andujar and possibly even a Voit in there. You know, I hate saying that, but Voit was a home run king, and
yeah, I mean, this team again, like we've said, like we've been saying, this team is flawed. This team is just too righty dominant. Too many guys with the same exact approach to hitting the long bomb, and you need to change it up. And that's not something that's going to get done in the middle of the season, but that's something that eventually you have to come to terms with. Looking back on it, we might look at this team and be like, who is left from this core who might be winning a ring with the Yankees in the future, right? It's probably looking like Judge. It's probably looking like DJ. And then I can't even say for certain who else might be a part of this team long term. That's how it's getting.
I could see Chapman long term, like for the finish.
Well, I'm talking about like position players,
position
not
players.
Pitchers. Pitchers different story. I think the pitching's different.
Torres, maybe.
That's a maybe, dude. Like if you're not trading Torres, that means you're either getting rid of Gio or you're getting rid of Voit for sure.
But like you can't just let these guys
you're not benching
walk.
Torres.
You can't let them walk.
No, you gotta trade him. That's the ultimate problem. Is that I think, like even if this team goes out and wins a ring this year, which is not looking certain in any way, shape, or form, there's a good chance this team might not even make the playoffs at this rate, right? So even if this team does go out and win a ring, you can't be like, as a Yankee fan, like, this team is the greatest team of all time. Because it's not. There's nothing about this team that's exceptional except for the long ball, like the offense. And when the offense isn't there, this team is really bad because it's just constructed slow, flawly. Like, this goes against every great baseball philosophy you could read. Like, look at the 09 team. Literally, if you go down the roster, they never had to change the lineup depending on who's on the ball.
They threw the same lineup out there every single day.
Lefty, righty, didn't matter. They throwing out the same exact lineup.
Job for Joe Girardi that 2009 season. And I'll tell you this, like Aaron Boone, he's just standing there doing nothing. Phil Nevin is out there dogging it with the umpires.
Okay. So I kind of like, I understand everyone's perspective of that, like him not going out there and get ejected, like why? But like the dude's been ejected, like I think he's been ejected more than any manager this year. He's up there. So I can understand why he doesn't want to go out there and get ejected, because it gets to the point where like if you get ejected too many times, you just get suspended, right?
And
so he's
probably suspended, fined, and it's his contract.
He's probably coming up on that limit where he's pushing the envelope. So he's probably in his mind like I understand this is such a terrible call, but what am I really accomplishing right now by going out there and getting thrown out?
Lighting a fire under your team's behind.
But Nevin does that for him, so who cares?
Nevin's a freaking tank, dude.
Nevin's like, dude, I don't care. All right, I'll go out there and bust you in front of all of these people, dude.
Yeah.
Listen. I kind of mixed feelings about that. Again, I understand like he should have probably just gone out there and getting tossed, like going to war for your team in that situation. That was a horrible call, like one of the worst I've seen in a very long time. And there's been some pretty bad calls. And it definitely cost us the game. Like we would have had bases loaded.
It was either Odor was a 2-hitter. We would have had Judgy up.
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. But we would have.
I want to say that Judge would have been up versus Matt Barnes, and he owns the shit out of him. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, the Yankees getting swept for the first time since 2011 against the Red Sox. So it's embarrassing stuff. But like again, I think the only major move the Yankees could possibly make midseason is firing Boone. But I just don't know what that accomplishes other than maybe giving up on the season.
I don't. If we fire Boone, I don't think that's giving up on the season.
Who's going to replace him? Like, there's no suitable replacement at this point in time where you can just be like, hey, go coach the New York Yankees and try to fix this.
Yeah, you're right. But like, you can go make a trade.
You can make a trade. But again, the problem is the cap, right? There's not enough money to go make this grand trade unless it's going to have to hurt. And these Yankees are so hard-headed that they're like, we love all our prospects. All our prospects are babies. They got to all come up to the major leagues or they're going to die trying, right?
No, they're all going to rot. They're all going to rot.
Albert Abreu, he's going to be 38 years old, and we're going to be like, he still might have a chance to make the big leagues for us. Yeah, Albert Abreu, that poor kid.
He'll be walking up to the mound in a walker, and they'll be like, yep,
we still got a chance here. Like, they didn't even really want to give up on Bird. Like, poor Greg Bird, like, he's walking injury, and they were like, we still have hope. They really didn't want to give up on him. They ultimately
yelling, you're back out there, big guy.
It took him being like, dude, I'm not going to AAA. Like that was what did it. He's like, I'm not going back to AAA. And they were like,
he took his option and said, I'm getting out of here.
Dude, he's like, no, I'm not doing it. And he's like, but like, yeah, the Yankees at their core don't give up on their prospects. Like it does. Like if their prospect has a notable name, they hype them up to the death. And it's like, dude, this is a team that was built to win now. Go win now. Go get something. Go get anybody. I think they need a center fielder, they need a lefty bat, or they need a shortstop.
You want to know what ticks me off? The Kevin Gausman. He is throwing out like a .79 ERA his last 6 starts, dialing it up, and the Yankees could have got him for a low. There was like a low ball number that he was rumoring to go out there for $5 million a year. You know, we could have had that.
I mean.
But again, our pitchers could go out there and shove 35 innings scoreless, then we're only scoring 1 freaking run, you know?
I think they ultimately need another starter. I think even when Sevy comes back, you have to get another starter, I think. Because like I said, I think J-Mo's too inconsistent, and I think right now Vontae's too inconsistent. Right now we have, and Kluber's out right now, and we don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back.
No, he may not, you don't even know. He may not even come back. You don't know.
He's going to come back. He's going to come back. I think his injury's not as bad as it was made out to be, but it is one of those things where, like, he needs this time on the IL to really make sure it's good. But I think he'll be fine when he comes back, especially, dude, the way he was pitching before. It was like, this dude's back. Like, he's a monster. So I have to hope he can come back and be somewhat of that. And I think him, Cole, and Herman have been pitching really well this season. I think Monty's starting to piece together a lot of good starts, and you look at the ERA, right? But if you really look at it, he's been keeping us in the fight for most of these appearances, right? He's given up three runs a game, but it's like that should keep us in the fight. That's like he's 3-1, like, and you've seen a couple of his starts where you're thinking, oh, he's probably getting lost for this one, but ultimately he's keeping us in the fight long enough to get these no decisions and to get these wins. So. Yeah, he's taking some steps forward, and if he can continue to progress, hopefully, maybe it won't be that big of an issue. Maybe Severino is the answer when he comes back. But yeah, I think this team has 2 major needs right now, and that's a starter, and that's a lefty bat, and that's either in center field or you need to look for a shortstop.
So a starter who's not a Luis.
I don't know who that starter would be. I think there's a lot of good names out there. I think John Gray from the Rockies, he's pretty good. I like him a lot. He's been having really good numbers at Colorado, which is weird because most pitchers, it's the opposite, right? You go on the road and it's like this guy's a really good pitcher and you're at home. It's like a nightmare. The dude's pitched the 6 ERA at Coors.
Now in Colorado, maybe he's even better. You don't know.
Yeah, Herman Marquez, another guy up in Colorado who could be a potential guy. Problem is he's making a decent amount of money, so that would be a tougher one. Gausman, he could be one. Could be on the move.
That's a big asking price from San Fran.
Yeah, they're playing well right now. That's the problem. They might be a wild card team at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. You got it's just there's the team has potential. They got to make 2 moves this trade deadline, and I think it's very simple. They can go get Ketel Marte, and they don't need to give up a lot.
I think he's the answer. If everything continues as it is right now, and like we're assuming a couple guys step up, I think he's the answer in center field, because I don't think you want Judge playing center field long term, because you don't want that dude getting hurt. I think right field is his little safe haven. That's cool. Let him stay there. And we need another guy who's capable. And hey, Marte could also play shortstop too. So
yes, shortstop, second base. We need that. We need the versatility.
Yeah, we need that versatility.
We have the Twins coming up tonight. Michael Pineda versus Montgomery, and then we have Cole versus the Uber driver, and then we have a to be determined versus J.A. Happ. So this we could
be King, I'd assume.
We could easily get a sweep here, or get swept by the offense. So
yeah, I can't even like say the Twins are bad, so we should sweep them because we're just as bad right now. But like in theory, we should sweep them. Monty on the mound, I'm hoping he has a good day. That'd be awesome if he could give us a solid 6 or 7, maybe 1 or 2 runs.
A beautiful start to the series. Go get a dub, get the momentum going.
Because I think Cole's gonna eat. I think Cole's mad because Josh Donaldson calling him out, saying like, "Is it a coincidence that he fell off?"
Josh Donaldson needs to stop running his freaking mouth. He ain't the brain.
I was telling my dad this. I hope Cole walks up to the mound when Josh Donaldson steps up the plate, throws one right behind his head, right, scares him, right, says, "Hey, I could throw 1-on-1, you know that, right? Just boom, right? That doesn't hit him, doesn't hit him, just like scares him." And it proceeds to strike him out on 3 straight fastballs down the middle and says, "Oh, you think I need spin rate for that? Huh? Old man? Go sit down. Get off my field. Get off my field." He emotionally, go in the stands.
Sit.
Get out of here. Go sit down. And he does that 3 or 4 times throughout the night.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have a monster performance. I think he's going to be very angry, both at the comments he's been making, the comments the media's been making, and, the Yankees as a whole. Just been abysmal. I think the ace is going to come out and he's going to take the mound for us in a big way. He's going
to come out and shove. He's going to show him what it's really about. Being the Garrett Cole. I do not like Josh Donaldson. I used to like him, but you can't be making
you can't talk about our ace like that.
He already made comments on the Astros for cheating, and he's like, and he called out Michael Fiers for like ratting on the team, and now you want to rat on all the pitchers that that possibly cheat, Like, I'm sorry, but there is not a damn... You can't
come on my ace like that.
What?
You can't come on my ace like that,
I'm sorry, but there is no pitcher in the MLB who hasn't used a substance. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Rampant.
You cover this again, too, in your little shorts, your latest episode, but, like, Jacob deGrom thing, like, everyone accusing him. Like, he's cheat. I'm sorry, he has used it. He's not using this crazy stuff, mind you. I refuse to believe that, but he has at one point used some sort of substance. I refuse to believe in his career that man has been like, not for me, because everyone's done it. Every pitcher has done it. I really would love to know, full, like, no BS, a pitcher who could literally look me in the eyes and be like, I have never used it. I don't know if there would be one.
It would be like the Barry Bonds, or like the Andy Pettit and Alex Rodriguez going, I never used steroids.
Yeah. Like, let's take the polygraph. How about that? Let's like get every pitcher on the polygraph. Hey, did you use some sort of substance? And if there's any hesitation, let's do a lie detector across the league for all the pitchers, because I'm sorry, every pitcher has used it. There is, like, you go like to combat the home run balls in 2019. I guarantee you, every pitcher said, "I'm gonna need some extra special sauce on my ball." Yeah, I mean, like, we talked about this before, but for the most part, I don't care. Like, if a pitcher's going to use it to improve his grip so he doesn't throw 101 at a dude's head, cool. I'm cool with that. Yeah, go ahead. It's the guys who are like, I'm going to make this cement mix, sunblock, rosin, super grip that gives me an extra 1,000 spin on my fastball. So now my fastball that's going like this normally is going like that in midair.
Or it's going up.
It's somehow going up, and then just from the heavens coming down to the strike. Like I got a problem with that. Okay,
looking like a blitz ball out there. Nah.
Okay. When you got guys who should be quadruple A starters who are coming in and just being like monsters with the spin rate. Like, you gotta relax.
There are guys like relievers this year coming out throwing like ridiculous numbers and having stupid movements on their fastballs and changeups, and it's cool to see. But don't go ratting on pitchers because everyone's using it. Don't
Everyone's
going
used
after
it.
the
I don't like this like BS on the high road. Like, we don't do that. Like, I don't believe you. I don't. Unless you're taking a polygraph and I can see it, and the guy's telling me that you're like, oh, this guy's not lying. Then we're cool. But I don't believe you, right? I'm sorry, Jacob deGrom. You're a GOAT. I don't think you're cheating to that extent like some of these other bums out here. I think you're probably like the usual like rosin, sunblock, and sweat. I think that's probably the most common one. And that's really not that big of a deal.
And like every pitcher takes the rosin and hits their freaking arm. And I'm sorry, but every pitcher, I'm assuming, puts on suntan lotion.
No, like literally, that's not cheating. That's whatever. You're literally just using what you have to get that extra grip. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care about that stuff. I care about the guy who's just like got the fattest wad of pine tar and cement and rosin on his neck, and he's going
it's like the Yusei Kikuchi on the Mariners, whose hat's bent to the brim and has like a year's worth of pine tar on his thing. And
he's like, dude's he might as well have a bottle in his hat he takes off to put new sticky substance on his head to go. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on. But again, like if you're using sunblock, like rosin and sweat, that's cool. Whatever. A little bit of pine tar doesn't hurt a little bit, unless you're like, Pineda back in the day when he was on the Yankees.
This is straight
scrape. It's like, come on, bro.
This all, like, again, we're going off topic here, but this all started with Trevor Bauer. The MLB just hated Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer like called him out on it.
I think this has been going on longer than that. I just think it's just now finally because of Trevor Bauer. I think it's just the people are just like the hitters are finally like snitching, and they're like, dude, we're tired of this. Like, I'm tired of facing one guy who is throwing the straightest fastball I've ever seen, and then the next time I face him, his fastball is just darting off the zone last second.
On the left side and end like on your waist.
Like, how do I hit that, dude? I can't hit a guy who has an extra 30,000 spin to his changeup. Like, what do I do? It started in the same spot and it ends in like 5 different areas of the zone. Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's guys finally tired of that BS.
Well, I will say Jacob deGrom is one of the best.
He's goated, dude. Like, the best. He's goated. He's like gonna make the Hall of Fame, and he's probably gonna have a losing record.
Yeah,
that's the funny part.
Garrett Cole too is one of the best.
He's pitching to a 0.62, and he has a losing record. How does that make sense?
It does suck for him, but too bad.
Rob, I'm just saying, you want to take a trip across the town, Hey guys, come across town, guy.
We go over the cap for you.
We do it real quick. We'll sell the farm system. They can have our AAA team. Shit.
Hey, New York Mets. You want a full AA squad? You want a
AA squad real quick?
You got it. Stevie, you want the revenue from a low A team or a AA team too?
He's like, no, I don't. I don't want that. I don't want that, he says. That's nothing to me. I go, our bad.
Well, Murph, the Yankees need help. I think they will go out and get Marte. They'll make a trade this year. They will make a trade this year.
Dude, they better, because this team right now is not even going to make the playoffs. Like, I'm being brutally honest. This team right now, and again, the only major changes you can make to this team is by either firing Cashman, which I don't see a guy to replace Cashman, nor do I want Cashman fired, I'm being honest with you. Fire Boone. No one to replace Boone, who's serviceable, who can manage this team and turn this team around. And I don't really want that. I am not the biggest fan of Boone, but I'm not like everyone else who is just like, kill Boone, just kill him. I hate him. I'm just not there yet. I'm not the biggest fan. I never thought he was a good New York fit. Like, when you see New York managers, like Joe Girardi was like the cream of New York manager. The guy who's literally like...
It's like Joe Torre, and it's like Joe Girardi, and it's like Aaron Boone. Like, it can't even fit him in the dot. Like,
my dad was pointing out Don Mattingly would probably be like the ultimate fit for manager, or Jorge Posada, I think Jorge Posada would be beautiful.
Magnifique.
Magnifique. He'd come in and he'd do a job, but I don't know if he's interested in managing. And Don Mattingly's not going to leave the Marlins. Jeter's got him a vice grip on Mattingly over there. He's not going anywhere, Bubba.
You going? So you ain't going here anywhere.
New York's this way. Points to Miami.
Here.
Yeah. So hopefully we make a trade.
We will make a trade. We'll keep y'all updated on it. Well, we'll be hearing from us soon, more often than not, on the Yankees. Hopefully soon we'll get this thing back ball rolling. But thank you, Murph, for joining us today. Pray that the Yankees start winning some ball games, make a trade, and we'll see y'all in the next one.